When you get your Guardian forms in your mailer, just like this, should be able to open it up, hopefully not upside down, and it look like this. Will come with a pencil. If it doesn't come with a pencil, hopefully you have one laying around. I recommend hooking it on the edge like that. I don't put it in it because this will get it stuck, and even without this, it's a good chance when you pull this, it will do that instead. So here we can see a few things. First, all the forms come standardized with a few things. Of course, branding. Secondly, we have the document, the revision. This is the cover sheet to your forms. You'll see 2015 Ford Fiesta 144786 cover sheet form and a picture of the car, which it'll be hard to see on camera, but the VIN in white. When you open up your forms, you will have your first page. This is 0B, 0A, 0B, 1A, and on the other side 1B. This first form is our reference sheet. This form is optional, don't need to use it, but you may indicate your asset name all the way down to the kind of cabin air filter and wipers your car takes. This is useful for engine oil, engine air filters, anything you may need to reference as you buy it can be on this sheet. So this is your inspection checklist form. As you can see, if I lay it on the ground, you have a few things. You have your asset, which I recommend using VIN 6, which will be the last 6 digits of your VIN. You'll fill out, and this is all in pen for now, your asset, your make and model, and your VIN. Everything else on this form is penciled in because it will change, unless you want to sheet protector it and dry erase or pin it. You will update your odometer and put when you last updated it. If you need any help, you can always refer to the manual. You may also draw your car down here and indicate any body damage. Over here we have our brake and tire and some common items. Starting also in section 1, and this is the form that is messed up currently, you can see VF 2-1. It should really say 1-2. Here you will get 301, I can show you. You will get 301 entries you can enter. You can always refer to the manual if you need extra instruction. But this lives in section 1. In section 1B, you can put your fuel receipts. Once you add it to the form, right behind it is a nice pocket and area to keep your receipts. Refer to the manual on how you should annotate the form and the receipts. Moving over to the 2A side, you can see we have a scheduled dashboard. You can now see the bread and butter of our forms. This is the job worksheet. This is where most of your writing and record keeping will be. We have introduced a VF ID. This is your job ID. You can fill out the year, the month, and the day, and put the asset. This currently says VIN 4. This is also an old printout copy, but you can use VIN 6, VIN 4, or a nickname for your car, such as, let's say it's a retired cop car, Weedawoo, or for this case, it's a Fiesta, we call it Fiesty. You can then add a sequence number. The sequence number is useful if you're doing multiple jobs in a day. You can start out with 00 or 01 and add up as you do more jobs within the same day. Behind it is optional for you to use. You may store the job templates that are empty behind here or the planned jobs. It's up to you. Whatever you do, you may indicate that that is what you're doing on the sticker. You then have your active job section. We provide a few of these sheets, as you may have some active jobs over the year or years, for you to annotate. Section 4A, we do the same thing, except it's a closed job dashboard. You may fill out some receipt info, what the task is, and this is really important for any of you business or car gurus or anybody, even the normal person. You have a total spent, and you should not count tax. You can now fill this up, add it up, and when you go to report your taxes at the end of the year, if you're doing any work-related things such as mail carrying, DoorDash, contracting, or any other kind of work with your vehicle, you may annotate in your taxes how much you've spent taking care of your work vehicle. The rest of the folder and its few sections are for your personal use, excluding this back one. If you don't use it, you can still use it for the other things I'm about to mention. But in the front of your forms, where this reference sheet is, you can move this reference sheet to the back so it's out of your way. And instead, put up here your registration, insurance, and if you choose to do this, your title. Maybe even a bill of sale from when you got the car, if you got it off Marketplace, or any dealership info, whatever documents you think are important. You can put that here or here. Elsewise, you can use these spare sections, say, to indicate the year or the season. You could write over here, 2025 summer, and these are all your jobs you did there in the summer. 2025 winter, and these are all the jobs you did in the winter. Or just keep it yearly, 2025, 2026, and use the provided. This video will go over the practicality of trying to use GRDN forms and why maybe you should get it, and if it applies to you. Here we can see these are the forms I was using about half a year ago for a retired cop car that I had purchased around the same time. We can see here that I've written down the year, make, and model, and give it a nickname. In this case, it was Weedawoo. Here I have the VIN in white for quick reference. Now, the forms you may buy are going to have some changes, which you will see because I'll show off what the new forms look like. But this is the current form I'm using. As we flip the page, you can see that I have important documentation. This includes a bill of sale, insurance, and registration information. This checklist is redundant and has been replaced by a different checklist. It has been replaced by this checklist. This checklist is less, laying out what you need to look at, because, to be honest, it's probably better just to write it in your own way, which is what this section's for. We provide an area for body damage that you can use how you like, and for some other common items and break and tire on the other side. In PIN, you can fill out the VIN, your asset, your make and model, and then occasionally update your odometer and note when it was updated. Easy. Also in my forms was a issue report form. I don't really use this much, and you'll see in the new forms one of the selling points of the GRDN vehicle forms is this sheet, where you can annotate and track date, mileage, if you checked oil, your fuel, what you added, and importantly, the price a gallon and total that you spent at the pump. You can also add your MPG to keep track of it, or calculate it yourself and then keep track of it. Any other fluid. This car happens to have a transaxle issue with the PTU, and I constantly have to fill up the fluid, and I can date and mileage every time I filled it up. I can also annotate tire pressure with a check mark, dash, X, whatever I need. And in this case, I got new tires and wrote new. I then can make the note for what I named the receipt or any of that. The reason this could be important to you is if you do any mail service or door dashing or any contract work where your vehicle is a business vehicle in any sense, you can claim these fill-ups and how much you spent on your taxes. This can keep a nice good record instead of fumbling with receipts. But because when the tax inspector rolls around, this is not going to prove necessarily that you're telling the truth. If you flip to the back, you should keep up with the receipts. Here, over the half year, I have every single time I stopped and filled this car up. You can see that for everything I've done for this car, I have invoiced and kept documentation of what was done, when it was done, and how it was done. Hopefully you can draw your own conclusions on how these forms will help you. It's helped me a bunch with the military, as being stopped or pulled over and being asked to present your registration and insurance at any moment is helpful. Otherwise, when I used to work at the post office, this is something I wish I had, as filing taxes on a business vehicle, it can be very hard. And without an account and keeping up with stuff, it's impossible to calculate just how much you're spending on your vehicle. I saved hundreds when I filed my taxes because my vehicle was used as a business when mail carrying. However, I probably could have saved more if I had these forms.